Welcome back, adventurer. When last we left off, you had just been separated from your party. The cave-in the cave system tunnel had separated you from your party, leaving you stranded, afraid, and alone. And in the darkness, you suddenly heard a slow, rhythmic, pulsing breathing. And it's then that you notice a warmth start to envelop you. At first it's very subtle, but then you realize you must move forward through the tunnels. And as you walk forward, that warmth becomes unbearably hot. Almost as if the fires of hell itself are just beyond your reach. You turn the corner in the tunnel system and then you see that tunnel opens up into a grand cavern. And there you see for the very first time the largest red dragon you have ever set eyes upon. Its cat-like eyes just staring at you, wondering how foolish he must be, because it is not very often that its food enters so willingly into his chamber. Roll for initiative. Welcome back to Secondhand Blasters. This is Normatico here, and if you didn't guess by that opener, we are actually going to be reviewing a product from the Nerf Dungeons and Dragons line. Now, I will be the first one to tell you that I am a D&D dork to the extreme. I enjoy playing, I enjoy DMing. It is one of those things that it has always been there for me. It has helped me escape reality time and time again. I can also tell you that when I first heard about the Dungeons and Dragons line, my initial thought was, why? Let me explain. I know that Hasbro likes to do tie-ins with other product lines, and the fact that Hasbro does own D&D, it's okay. I guess that makes sense. But nobody asked for these blasters. I did get one just to try one out, and I'll admit I was pleasantly surprised. After getting it, I said, okay, this is interesting quality. I really like the way that it looks. So I decided to try it again. And I found a great deal on a blaster that normally I would not buy, but I really like the aesthetics of it, and I'm going to share it with you because I am a blaster person who prefers either a revolver, a pistol, or an actual rifle style. I never really got into the bows. I do have a Strato bow. I have the Mega Thunder bow, but only because I wanted to test them out for this channel. This one, however, when I saw it, my eyes were like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. It is aesthetically pleasing. However, when you look at it for the retail price, you find it that is on $34.99, $36.99, and that is when I have to look at what the blaster is and think, is this worth it? I checked it up on Amazon. I've been able to find it for as low as $44. I did see some crazy person trying to sell it for $108. Of course, I went to eBay, my last resort always, and I actually was able to find my personal favorite eBay seller, Bullseye Deals. Please, seriously, look them up on eBay. Give them business because they are amazing. And Bullseye Deals actually was able to sell this particular blaster set, or I guess blaster bow, for only $10.99. It is new in box. It is not used. And their shipping was remarkably fast. I think I ordered this 2 days ago, and it got here today. Well, now I'm recording this the day after I got it, so you get the drift. So it only took about 2 days to arrive. So that being said, let's go ahead and do an unboxing. It is kind of a big box. I don't know if I can get it all on the screen here, but, well, you're going to have to look at it sideways, folks. So it is the Nerf Dungeons & Dragons Dragon Power Skyblaze. Okay, it's such a big box. So it is probably not a big surprise seeing how big this box is, why there's not a lot of them on the store shelves. When the Dragon Powers were actually stocked at places such as Walmart and Target, they usually stocked the smaller blasters that were not necessarily the Dragon Power ones, but the Dungeons & Dragons ones. I saw I believe it's the Fire Strikes, and I might have seen the Ember Strike as well, because those tend to be a smaller box other than the bows. This is a lot of shelf space that it would take up, and because of the shelf space, they're not going to keep a lot of them in the store, so I understand why I couldn't find them there. But that being said, this is pretty cool. The box, of course, has a little bit of a different Nerf logo here. It has that white with a really rough-looking design on it. You do have the cool-looking D&D design here for the character, and it's just a pretty-looking box. It screams Dungeons & Dragons. This is one of those things that this is almost straight out of a Dungeon Master's guide, and I love it. I love the artwork on these boxes. People want to trash on Hasbro because of what they did with the OGL license for D&D 5.0 going forward. Of course, obviously that backlash was pretty severe, and they corrected action. But I want to say that the design of all of this is very pretty. It is nice looking, and the blaster, from what I can see here, it looks pretty amazing. So I can tell you that based on the box design, it does come with 10 elite darts. If this is part of the same as the other Dragon Power blasters, they are red darts with the reddish orange tips, which are really sharp. They're really cool. And when I shot them, they were pretty good quality for an elite dart. So I was pleasantly surprised. So we're actually going to go ahead and unbox this thing really quick. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to show it to you. And unfortunately, because of the time, I can't do a range test right this instant. However, through the magic of video editing, I can do a range test later on this video. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get to this. All right, so first thing I will say, again, it is a pretty box. I do like how this itself looks all jagged. It does have a very dungeon-esque feel to it. It's very rough. This is intentional cutting that they did. What is not intentional is that the box did have damage to it, but that's okay, because as I've stated in previous videos, I do not collect the boxes. I collect the actual blasters. So I guess this should be pretty easy to unbox. Now, with these, they did opt for the plastic-free wrapping. I do have my trusty box cutter that actually is sharp compared to the other one, so we should make short work of this. Of course, I have apparently spoken too soon. Well, there we go. And almost. There we go. Oh, looks like we got one more. However, why do you have to do this? You put it in a position where it's very difficult to see. Now, with my luck, there's probably one like hidden underneath here. I'm going to set this to the side for now. That is very pretty. I do like this. And our darts are stored in here. Now, whereas normally I would probably do something with this box, maybe do something with the design. Unfortunately, because of the fact that there is so much damage to the box itself, I can't do that. So this is going to go into the recycling bin. But first, let's take a look if we do have any instructions in here. I don't seem to see anything here. Oh, wait, what's, no, that's plastic. There are no instructions. Nope, no instructions at all. However, so there are no instructions that come with it. Here's what's in this box. Mind you, this is from a reseller, so for all I know, maybe that box damage is because it is a resold or returned item that somebody had taken the instructions out of. As usual, in the frustration, I can't call it frustration-free packaging. In the plastic-free packaging, it comes in the tissue paper that, again, I feel like this is kind of like what they give you crunchy noodles in at a local Chinese restaurant. You do have, it says 10 elite darts, and we do in fact have 10 elite darts. So this is what is in the box. You got your 10 elite darts, you have your blaster. Of course, it does have a smart AR system here with the 5 individual darts, and then much like the fire bolt, whatever the fire one is, the Dragon Night Strike, basically, you can actually hold 5 extra darts here in the actual ridges. So go ahead and load these darts. Five and 2, 3, 4. Oops. This is my OCD acting up. And 5. And now it is loaded. So this is a very sharp looking actual bow. You do have the string here with the actual reinforced section that you pull on. It does fit comfortably in your hand. Now, the cool thing about these bows is that you can actually do it horizontal style, like a crossbow, or you can hold it straight like you are Katniss Everdeen. It does have, ooh, that actually feels really good. So this right here, it is almost like a hard rubber that is bendable. It simulates the dragon scales here and the spikes as well. This is actually really cool. So this right here is prime material. Obviously this is the pretty side. You do see the D&D ampersand here, and it is on both sides. Obviously one side says Nerf. Here are all the warnings. So this is one of the best parts that I love about the Dragon Power series, is that all sides have the patterns, all sides have the writing on them. They look beautiful. This, again, it is retail. It retails at around $34. I only paid $10.99. I would have gladly paid $20 for this, just on appearances alone. This looks like it's going to be fun to shoot. I'm not going to lie. I can't wait to take this outside, but let's see if we can shoot it inside really quick. So, okay, I talked about holding it horizontally. Do not do that, because that can actually sting you here in the wrist. That kind of hurt, I'm not going to lie. Other than that, this is very comfortable to hold. We're going to go ahead and switch angles here really quick, and that way you can actually see it properly. Okay, so we are back, and just after a quick little wardrobe change, I wanted to show you the outside of the Nerf Skyblaze blaster. As you can see, it is a pretty wide blaster. It has a wide profile here, taller, more I should say. So those things that when you see this blaster, this way, to give you an idea, I have 46-inch shoulders, and it does take up my shoulder length and then some. So it is pretty decently sized. Now, one other thing I wanted to point out to y'all, again, the MSRP on this, I looked it up on Hasbro. Hasbro said that the MSRP on this was in the mid-20s. I have seen prices range a lot higher than that, but I'm not going to lie. For mid-20s, the detailing on this is really great. Hasbro really did knock it out of the park when it came to the Dragon Power line. You can actually see the two D&D ampersand signs on either side of the blaster, which is nice. The only difference between the quote-unquote ugly side of the blaster and the pretty side is that one has the Nerf logo, the other one has the warning basically telling you, don't modify this, please don't shoot anybody in the face, and play responsibly. Which, I'll be honest with you, if that's the only difference between the two sides, that and one side has screw holes and the other one doesn't, I'm okay with this. This is a lot better than what you've been doing in the past, and I'm okay with this. I do like the fact that we have storage for 5 additional darts here, which is really nice. That's also like what they did on the Fire Strike. Not the Fire Strike, the Fire Shot. The Fire Shot, which, by the way, they should have totally named that something else. You missed your chance, Hasbro. So many spells and cantrips you could have named it after, and you called it the Fire Shot instead of the Firebolt or the Fireball, whichever. Anyways, but back to the Skyblaze. So it is a really pretty looking blaster. Performance-wise, bows, they tend to be right on average. I have seen some that can launch about 60 to 70 feet. When we take this out on the range, we'll see just how far it can go with an arc shot. Unfortunately, we have been having really windy days up here in Ohio, which is where I'm located at, so the range is going to be kind of skewed. But again, we'll have to see what happens when we take it out into the parking lot that I use as a firing range. So up next will be coming the range test. Okay, and we're back, and it's a beautiful windy day out here in Ohio today with the Skyblaze blaster. This is part of the Dragon Power series with Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to test to see just how far it can shoot. I'm going to shoot traditional archer style, as well as doing a straight shot with it to see how far we can actually get this thing to fire. I do have high hopes. In my opinion, usually the bows can get some pretty good range. So I'm going to step behind the camera really quick, and we're going to fire down range. Now, again, it is a windy day, so I expect that the wind should knock these readings off a little bit, but we'll get a good idea whether or not this blaster is truly worth the price, or if it's closer to the price that I paid for it, which was $10. So let's arc this up. Ow. Let's try this again. That bounced back. One more straight shot. All right, so here are my final thoughts regarding the Skyblaze. Now, I like this blaster. I think it looks really cool. I'm normally not a bow person. However, as a parent, I have to think about what is best for my child. G-Rex was actually out there on the range with me. You didn't get to see him on camera. However, he had the same issue that I had when he tried to fire the blaster, and that was that rubber edge here, it slapped against his wrist. Now, of course, when you're shooting it, if you shoot it like this, which is what most people would want to shoot it as, that's where you run into that happening. However, if you do this, it doesn't. But that is not a very natural way to fire a bow. As such, I don't know. I personally would recommend to any parent who is interested in buying this blaster for their child to probably get an archery glove, either some kind of leather bracer or something like that, something that would protect them. And here's why. G-Rex is 10 years old, and I'm much older than that. And if it hurts me, I can only imagine how that's going to feel for an 8-year-old, which is what this is marketed to, is 8 and up. So unless you want to hurt your kid, I would stay away from this blaster, or buy them an archery glove or a leather gauntlet or something to protect their wrist. Those are not that expensive. You can go onto Temu and order them. I have one that is on the way from Hong Kong now that is I only have spent $3 on. Or you can order them off of Amazon. You know, the point is that you just need something to protect you, or I should say something to protect your child. Or if you're getting this blaster for yourself, to protect yourself as well, because I guarantee you that after a few of these, you are going to be hurt a little bit. So yeah, that's my final thoughts regarding this. Because of that, I'm going to say that I'm glad that I only got it for $10. Had I paid the full price for this blaster, only to be hurting myself or to be hurting my kid, I'd be very upset. Only because of the fact that this should have come out in quality control. You know, quality control should have been playing with this. They should have seen that problem, and they should have said, hey, wait a minute. We need to, fix this. Maybe that's what happened and why it's no longer on the shelves. Because there's a lot of the Dragon Power blasters that are still on the shelves. Again, the Fire Shot is still there. The Ember Strike, I believe I've still seen on the shelves. You have other Dungeons and Dragons blasters that are still there. So, but I have not seen this one. Not in quite a few months, actually. So, I don't know if they moved them off the shelves or what, or maybe I'm just looking at the wrong places. So, that's just something to take into consideration when you are looking at this particular blaster. I do recommend not buying full price, as always. You can find these on eBay. You can probably find them on Amazon on a Nerf Day sale or something. But don't pay full price for that. Don't pay full price for any blaster. Unless, of course, you're seeing something part of the limited series and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta have it. So that's just my humble opinion. I am the Thrifty Nerfer. This has been Secondhand Blasters. Until next time, keep on blasting.
Mark this up.